Hi there, I'm Andrea Wedell. I am a California-based abstract painter and educator. If we haven't met before, welcome. I'm glad you're here. In today's video, I'm going to show you the way that I add cold wax to an acrylic painting base like I've got going here, and also the way that I use cold wax on canvas. I get asked those two questions a lot. Can you layer up cold wax when you've started with a water-based paint? Yes, you can. And can you use cold wax on canvas? I don't usually. If it's going to be 100% a cold wax painting from start to finish with all the layers, I use a board, but every once in a while I will add cold wax to a canvas in a specific way, and that I'll show you here. And I hope you get something from this video. If you like these videos, please give it a like, hit subscribe, and let's get to it. The first thing I do is determine for myself, am I done working with my acrylics? Acrylics, I love working with because, especially when I'm doing abstracted florals, because it's all about the brushwork and the hand gestures. And once you get into the cold wax, then there's more of the brayers and the texture, and I can't get that fluid thing going quite in the same way. So number one is, am I ready to move away from my acrylics? Because once I put any cold wax down, then I'm gonna have to start using oil-based paints. So one thing that I do is, after I've answered that question for myself, and so here, I guess I'm done. For now, I wanna show this to you, and I'm sorry about the sound today, by the way, I forgot my mic. But I'm here, I'm ready to show you some stuff, so just bear with the sound. So one thing that I do is I might put a clear layer of cold wax that I just apply with one of these blue thingies or a soft cloth to take down some of that plasticky quality that comes sometimes from acrylic paints, is what I notice. Even I've tried all kinds of things, working with all the different types of mediums, working with no mediums, but there's always something just a little bit plasticky that bothers me. So I mostly finish all my acrylic paintings with some kind of oil paint. And one thing that you can do, let's say I decided I'm done with this. This looks great. What I could do is take this just a little bit of cold wax and rub it in. And it will change. Oops, oh no, I didn't fix that. Uh-oh. I need to fix that line with my fixative. But what this does is it starts to bring in the qualities that you get from an oil painting with that richness and sort of a lusciousness. And then I rub it in. So that's one thing that. So as I was rubbing that in, I took away a couple of the lines that I really liked because I had forgotten to fix them. So I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna come back and try to find that line again. Not exactly the same. This one. Make sure I don't lose that line again. Okay, so I looked at it for another second and I just thought, I have to correct a compositional thing that's kind of bothering me, which is basically before I jump to my oil paints and start using the solvents and the this and the that, I'm gonna take advantage of the fact that this is dried acrylic and I can work quickly and just get some more lines in there, because what I'm noticing is kind of all my shapes are the same sizes. That's the same, these are all kind of little, and so I want to do something to break it up and do maybe a big bold line that I don't see anywhere else here, and kind of, you know, at the risk of wrecking it, I'm just going to go in with my charcoal and just a little sketch or a little image that I have here and just see if I can't get an interesting line just to break up the similarity of all these shapes. So really big, let's just do something Yeah, that adds something a little bit unique. It's a weird shape. Often with these florals, I can also say is I'm not looking really at anything. This is just coming from memories of walks and shapes and experience painting flowers by just letting my hand go. Anyway, I like that. I'm not going to make the same mistake as I made before. I will fix that immediately, and then we will move on to more techniques in cold wax that you can apply to your acrylic painting. Welcome to my new studio, by the way. Give you a little tour. It's got great light in here. So I've got this little space here, my setup, and the fantastic light and the very high ceilings. Okay, so I'm choosing a tallow green and a tallow blue because that base that I have on the painting, it's got some of the tallow green. And so I know that if I bring in one of these, then whatever I create, whatever color I create, because it already has some of that in its base, is going to be harmonious. I hope it will. I'm guilty of doing this sometimes. I just pull the paint with no medium out of the tube onto my little finger and go at it. I'm going to start with my R&F pigment stick here. It's Fire Engine Red, and I'm going to just give one of these bits some deeper saturation. And I wanted to come over here, but with that green shape right there, that might be too much. Now I'm just going to play with some shapes. I've got these colors here to play with, and I'm going to do shapes and texture, and it might really change the composition, and then I'll have to keep working and working and working, or it'll come out bang all in one go and we'll be done. We'll see. I don't know. Going in. All right. That added a much better shape, different texture. So I have to keep stepping way far back from this thing so I can see what I'm doing. But I like what that did. Now that's too similar now. So what happens if I scratch into this a little bit? Not too much. I want it to be a contemporary painting and not something that's too fussy or too flowery. So I'm trying to push it a little bit. That's better. I chose the wrong spot for the reds before. I think it's going to be better up here. As much as I like this orange, I don't think it's working. There we go. That's more interesting. So what I'm doing here is I've got a surface that's really pretty flat. And so I'm giving, it's the opportunity to have this perfect contrast of this is very flat and using the cold wax and the oil, I'm getting more deeply saturated paint, like I said, but I'm getting a nice contrast of texture that sits on a pretty flat surface. Too many colors. As much as I like the yellow effect, it's just too much. That gave it a nice little shadow. So you can see what I'm doing, essentially. I'm just bringing in my rich, nuance, textured beautiful oil paints, and I'm just giving this whole thing more depth, more nuance. And I think it's coming along. I hope that gives you some ideas about the way that you can also start with an acrylic base and build up a painting. Get to a point, what I would suggest, that you really like where the composition is headed. You're done with the spontaneity of the water paints. You're ready to come in with more texture or different kind of texture, more saturation, a different tool. So you're going to get away from the brushes. You're going to move into your palette knives or your brayers or whatever you want to use, and play and just keep building it up, and you'll get a very rich, nuanced, beautiful painting.